Welcome to the fight game. Listen, do us a favor. Like, subscribe, comment on this particular page for us to give you the latest in boxing news and our commentary of some of the fights. We want to do commentary on the fight last night, Wilder and Zhang. Now, I said last week, Zhang got them things, man. He got them things. And it was almost reminiscent of the Zab Judah fight where I think he was fighting Tszyu, and Tszyu hit him, and Zab Judah started talking to the ref. Wilder was saying something to the ref. I don't know what he was saying, but it was obvious that he got touched up. And Zhang said, "Hey, you're not paying attention. You turn your back on me." Hit him with a right, knocked him down. It looked like a justified stoppage at this particular point. We talked about last week how Wilder's just not the same fighter anymore. And the telltale sign for me, Ice, with this is that when I saw the weigh-in and Wilder came in at 214 and Zhang came in at about 282 and above, I'm like, I think Wilder's in trouble here.
Yeah, when I saw that, I did take a gander at it, and I did acknowledge it. But to me, it wasn't the weight. I mean, the weight, yeah, it is what it is. But I just think it starts with the mindset. I don't think Deontay Wilder is the same fighter mentally he was, a couple years ago. And doing that trilogy with Tyson Fury, I don't think he was not the same dude. Now, skill wise, we don't know because he hasn't been engaging a lot. He hasn't been throwing what he normally would be throwing. Period. People want to throw his trainer under the bus, but it seemed like they tried to make him more of a boxer than let him do be who he is, as far as what we've become accustomed to. But I think overall, to me, it's the mental capacity. I think, he was for the longest time, he was fighting for providing for his family. He started with his daughter, and she had crazy medical bills, and he was able to accomplish that. And they kept going on, and he literally sounds like he's made a great life for his family. And maybe that to me was the reason why he don't come in with that dog no more. It's not like he's doing it because he has to. In the past, he had to provide, right? Now it's like I don't really need that. I'm doing it because they want me. It's a luxury more it is. It's not a need. And I think with that, and people may try to simplify that, go, well, that has nothing to do with him getting knocked out. The hell it doesn't. It comes down to mentality. He'll take the money because he's always can give you hype. But when you get into the ring and you start to show your skill set and you're not delivering what we've seen in the past, there is a problem. Even when he went into the corner was like, stay away from me, don't mix it up with him, let's move around, let's do this. And he would go 1, 2, and he go 1, 2, 3 over here. They've given him instructions. He's like, yeah, all right, yeah, I'm ready. When he goes out to the ring, he doesn't deliver. And it might be an erosion of skills. I'm not sure that. I think it's the mindset. I think he is so much really in a good place at peace that it's like it's hard to get that anger back up. And that's cool because you want him to walk away and be safe and be healthy more than anything. But if you can't get that dog up and that anger, time to walk away.
Yeah, my thing is I think he's going to take one more fight. Maybe he decides, hey, after this fight, this is over for me. But the only fight that makes sense now to take is the Anthony Joshua fight. We talked about it earlier. That's the only fight I would see him in. I would think that Anthony Joshua would want him now because that's a name on his resume, heavyweight resume. It seemed like he was avoiding him at a certain time. Now it's like he's right for the picking. So I can see that one more fight with Anthony Joshua, and then him saying if he loses really bad or loses at all, saying that's it for me, and I'm just gonna walk on the sunset, enjoy my family, things of that sort. I'd be very surprised if he just walks away, even though it was really bad last night. But you're talking about the Chinese George Foreman um, putting them things on you. So yeah, he was outweighted at that particular time. But a guy who is closer to his weight that he feels he can box. He did a cardinal sin to get knocked out where he was trying to throw the lead right. I guess thinking he was faster than Zhang. Zhang caught him in the inside because his left was down. And it's like you gotta hit a guy when his left is down. And he's not getting his guard up to protect. And so it was almost like it was a cardinal sin, and that makes me question his boxing skills, what he's training on, things of that sort. Thinking that I'm just much quicker than this guy, he's not going to be able to counter me, and he got countered and then knocked out, and it really looked really bad. I asked you before I saw the fight in the last round that where he got knocked out, whether or not it was justified. And I had to think it too because he was wobbling a little bit. He hit his head on the canvas. That can't be good. And we said it last week, and you said it again this week. After that trilogy, you could just see the fight was all out of him.
Yeah, yeah, and that's why I said. I mean, I understand you saying about might take one more fight with Josh, but it'll be straight money. It'll be for the money.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't know how much more people need to see. I don't need to see anymore. I don't. I don't. I don't. It's almost like watching Adrian Broner, right? Adrian Broner, when he was really on doing his thing, he was on fire. After a while, it just became more of an act and more of getting hyped up, which he still could draw because people still want to see him or see him win or lose. And I think the same thing's coming from Wilder. So to try to act as if these last couple opponents that he fought were just so much greater, the great Zane too, please. Zane, no, Zane got knocked. Zane, did some things. He also lost to Joseph Parker,
yeah.
right? So he's a hell of a guy. I mean, he's a big dude, and he knocked him out. But if you're gonna act as if in the prime or even a couple years ago, Zane would have had a chance in Hill with the Wilder, I don't believe that. In the same way with Joseph Parker. So that, in a way, to me, signals that he's not the same dude. Skill wise, maybe, but mentally, because he wouldn't even throw his right hand the way he was normally throwing it, and they're throwing the trainer under the bus because he's been losing. And what about Mark Breland? I'm not sure if Mark Breland could have helped him, but that's way too far back. It is what it is now. I just hope whatever his decision is, he makes a good one and enjoys the rest of his family, his life. If you want to come back, I'll watch it. I look at it the same way I did the Fury fight and go, not Fury, but the Zhang fight, shake my head because I think it's all right now, it'll be all strictly a dollar, strictly a cash run.
Mm. So Baval wins his fight, which sets up the fight in possibly October with Better Beeve. Um, Talk to us about that fight with Baval last night.
The guy that Baval fought had beat a solid guy as well. He kind of had an upset, and he was really impressive. But the thing about Baval, man, which I like about him, which I think he is probably, if he wanted to move up to, I won't say he could be a great heavyweight because I think he might be still a little light on that end. But Baval is like this. He has a game plan. He goes forward. He coming directly at you. But he's so much of a crafty and versatile fighter slash boxer that he'll fight any way that you want. So early on, if you might be showing signs that you can really combat with him, and you guys are going at it or battle, then he'll get you to about third or fourth round. Then he goes, all right, I know this little twitch. So he'll twist something and change it, and then becomes dominant. A la what happens when what he was doing for Canelo, right? So I think the same thing is with Better B. Better B's more of a rock'em sock'em robot, kind of straightforward type dude. And Bivol just finds ways, man. He finds ways. And I know everybody's talking about Benavidez trying to come up and to fight him if all this goes together, right? Which we might see early next year. And I know what Benavidez is trying to do, but I think what he's going to find out is if everything continues to move forward with Bivol, dude is that type of versatile fighter. He don't care. That's what Canelo found out. Canelo wait on last couple of fights, and then he goes on and starts dominating the people because they're there for the picking. But Ball's not that dude, and I think he's going to show us. I would love to see him fight more some other folks that so he can show how really good he is. I don't know if it's too much for him to come down to 168. I would love that. I think he is probably one of the most talented fighters. And I've seen the last couple,
I agree.
last couple fights he's had. He's one of the most talented fighters out there right now, and he continues to show what he can do. And I want to see more. I'm not sure if we're gonna get talent tested at one weight or another. 175. I tell you what, I'm gonna throw this out there real quick. I know it's bizarre and it's kind of a fantasy island type thing, and it's probably too much weight. But then again, I'm trying to think what a cruiserweight is. Cruiserweight is about what, 190, something like that.
Yeah, it's under the 200.
Yeah, it ain't. Okay, I'm just doing the fantasy up. Here's what I would love to see. I know it can never happen, but we all get one fantasies one time. I would love to see because they're on two different levels right now. I would love to see if Baval keeps moving forward, Baval versus Usyk.
Yeah, I knew you were gonna say that. Yeah, I think you're a
Yeah,
little mad at the little man.
I ain't mad at the little man. I just want the little man to be challenged. Nah, I ain't mad at the little man. He won. Nah, I just want to see a good fight. And would that be a good
Okay.
fight? You think of me?
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah. I think there's a little residue from last week.
No, no, because we're gonna talk about it here in a
Right.
minute, but
Right.
we got a rematch coming. So
Yeah.
nah,
Yeah. Yeah.
we
Yeah.
gonna,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
so we're gonna see the little man up for it this time again. We got a rematch coming.
Just lining up people for the little man.
Hey man.
Let them enjoy it a little bit. Well, anyway, there was another heavyweight fight. The boys, he's an upcoming heavyweight that I really, really like. And he pulled the upset last night because he wasn't favored to win last night, and he won his fight. Your thoughts about that fight?
Yeah, Daniel Du Bois surprised me. He was going up against was a Philip what's he Philippe Hargrove. Hargrove. So yeah, Du Bois was down, was losing, and he rallied. I like him because as a heavyweight, he took some punches, and he was kind of well, not down and out, but he took a lot of punishment,
Mm-hmm.
and he was able to muster the strong effort in the end and win. And it was a major upset. I think he needs to be a little bit more polished. He needs to tweak some things so he can get right where he can be more of a dominant force. Because I
Yes.
think the one thing I noticed was from a defensive standpoint, he's a little vulnerable. Like mentioned before, like the other fight, where if you keep dropping your hand and you're vulnerable to a shot, you got to understand you got to keep your hands up and whatever your motion or whatever you're doing, you got to be able to do that. And I think if he does that, he could be a contender, depending on who it is. Because yeah, I just like his moves and the way he goes about it. And he won the fight, and hopefully he can continue to improve, but definitely impressive.
So let's go to the rematch that was announced in December between Fury and Usyk, and I'm going to be picking Usyk again. I don't feel that Fury can beat Usyk. But I remember you saying last week you don't think a rematch was going to happen. They put in the works for it. I don't think it's settled yet, but they've been announcing that the rematch is happening in December. What are your thoughts on that?
I absolutely love it. I love it. And I might be wrong because I thought I had it the first time when I wasn't. The little man won. The little man won. Okay. So I might be wrong, but I hope, and I might be wrong. Tyson Fury, as he says, and he might just been clowning because he didn't want to be seen as being exposed, as you said before. But I think he kind of said, I thought I was winning and I was playing around. And if I would have known that, I would have had a different attitude. He could have just been spouting out, which is true. I want to say, I think Tyson Fury's greater than that. I said it before. You go back and watch the fight. We clearly, the two of us, are on two different planets on that, and that's okay. You know what? We love to agree to disagree. But I want y'all to know, and I said it before, no matter what you may say, Usyk stepped up and won the fight, came back, or he was winning, whatever side you jump on, and he came back and won in great fashion. But his jaw was broken. He broke that man's jaw. Fury, that is.
Walked away with the belts.
I mean, that's
It doesn't
great, but
matter.
don't. But it's like he dominated the fight. He did not. That's just me. But what I'm saying to you is, because you asked me a question, I'm excited for the rematch because I believe that at some point Fury is gonna be like, you know what? Okay, yeah, I messed up. I wasn't playing. I was playing around, which he was, and now I broke his jaw. Now I know I don't want to go out as a chump on my legacy. I'm gonna finally show y'all that it's real. Cause what I believed before, he had it, he was moving forward, and then he started playing because he thought he was winning. And to true fashion, the little man Usyk stepped up and said, again, if you don't want it, aka Tom Brady, I'll take it. And he did that. Kudos to him. You can't fault a man for stepping up and seeing the opportunity and doing what he got to do to avenge or do what he got to do to win. I like I said, I never said that I didn't think he didn't win. I said I thought it was a draw. Or I think I because I noticed when we were talking off air, I told you that ninth round, 10-8 round, I sent you a text to say he can't win. I was talking
Mhm.
about Fury, did I not? I said he cannot win. 10-8, after he knocked down the first time, I said he can't win. Only way he's gonna come back unless he shows significant dominance. And he did not do that. So that's what I'm saying. But I think collectively, I think it's a hell of a fight. I want to see it again. Brandon, I'll probably be on the same side. You're gonna be on the same side. We're gonna
Yeah,
both do what we do. But I think it was worthy of a rematch.
yeah, because I'm waiting for the line to come out in Las Vegas. I'm gonna put the same amount of money down for you six like I did last time. Put it in early and just forget about it, and then collect the money after the fight's over with. I put my money down on the man from China last night because when I saw the weigh-in, I'm like, oh no, Deontay ain't gonna get, he can't move this big dude around. He's not gonna be able to do it. And if that dude put them hands on him, that's it. The fight is over. The Chinese George Foreman. Up on deck is Martin versus Davis. I believe that is next week in or a couple of weeks from now in Las Vegas. And I'm seeing these guys chomping at the bit, fighting at press conferences, all this other stuff. I'm kind of looking at Martin saying, you know what? I don't know. I think you can. I think you can tango with Davis. So they're really promoting this fight where you kind of thinking that maybe Davis is not going to be on his game, and Martin looks a little bigger, looks a little thicker, and he's going to be ready for whatever Davis comes with.
Yeah, the one thing I like about this is Frank Martin has been in that stable with champions, right? He's on that side where he's been with the Errol Spence of the world, right? He's been in that area with the Charlos, and he's supposed to be that guy in that division. So he's familiar with Floyd Mayweather. He knows a lot of different things, and so uh, the former Tank Davis is not going to Javante Davis is not going to surprise him with anything. Okay, he's not. So Frank Martin's been there. So the question is, what happens when they get in the ring? So it's kind of like when you see with Garcia, when Garcia fought Haney. They have been aware of each other for quite some time. They sparred. So it's like, what's going to happen when you get in there? So nothing that the former Mr. Davis does is going to surprise Frank Martin. And that's what I love about it because they're both familiar. Okay, now what we're going to do when we get in here? I'm looking forward to it. It's been a lot of build up. The question is, though, can Frank Martin, because they're going to have a marvelous performance
Definitely.
to win. It's going to almost be picture perfect because you have to come in, you got to box, you got to do what you got to do, you got to stay away from Tank Davis because one drop or uppercut and you're done. So the question is, can you can your team come up with a solid game plan? But not only that, can you deliver it in such a fashion that it's almost flawless? That you can, whatever Tank Davis is bringing, that you can literally withstand the pressure
Yeah.
and handle it and secure and win the fight.
Yeah.
That's going to be key for Frank Martin.
Yeah. And he has to be picture perfect in this fight to beat Tank Davis. But just kind of looking at them head, and I know it's kind of hard to tell. It's like he shows no fear of Tank Davis. I've seen other fighters kind of try to have that bravado and not pull it off, but Frank Martin looked like, you know what, I'm about to stop you, and I'm training just to do that. So he has to come in with a perfect game plan, and just like you said, stay away from Tank's power and be able to control that fight from start to finish in order to get a decision or a TKO or anything in that fight, because that's going to be a fight where he has to convince the judges without a shadow of a doubt that he's the winner and victorious in that fight. And the only way you do that is to control a Tank Davis, keep him busy and keep him confused.
I do. I just want to see some solid, good fights. There's a lot of potential for the fall coming up. I want to see what happens with Devin Haney. I know Devin Haney was waiting on to see the outcome of the Ryan Garcia positive test. I want to see what might be his next move. Unfortunately, the Virgil Ortiz fight with Tszyu was postponed or canceled because of the fact that they simply say the doctors say that Tszyu is not recovered from the
The
banging that he
headbutt.
had.
Okay.
Yeah, with Fundora. He has not. He is not recovered, and it makes sense though because that was really nasty.
Yeah, it was.
But on the other end, it still appears as if Fundora is going to secure a fight with with Errol Spence Jr. in October. So I want to see that fight because we know what it is. Is Errol Spence back? Is he damaged goods? And Fundora is like ready to move forward.
Folks, our matchmaker said Baval and Usyk. So he is, by the words of Buddy McGurk, a good boxing matchmaker. So yeah, Baval and Usyk, which seems interesting, but give the little man a little time to enjoy his heavyweight linear championship, undisputed. But yeah, they're going to get it on in December if everything goes well. And that should be an end of the year good fight. I'm looking forward to it. As soon as the line Las Vegas, you put it out, put my $10 down. He's Icewater, I'm Puma, and this is the fight.